Mr. Klein?
Vincent Klein.
Thank you.
So, Your Honor, Mr. Klein is here today, scheduled for pretrial in this matter. I know that there was some talks about him being accepted or getting into the drug treatment court. I do have confirmation based on our notes here that he has been officially accepted into the court. I think that happened, let me get the date here. That was on August the 3rd. There is a new charge that Mr. Klein has for malicious destruction of a building. I know that that is being taken into consideration. He currently has court today at 1:30 with the drug treatment court.
And which is that 15th?
No, that would be
one.
Judge Kunke's treatment court.
Okay,
I'm going to let Mr. Kiriakin really finish because I don't have the same information.
That was my understanding. And my understanding was at this point, we were to be entering a plea in our case. Is that correct? So that he could be sentenced into the drug treatment court with this case. I'm sorry, Ms. McDuffie, what information do you have?
Well, so first and foremost, Mr. Klein had been on our docket for quite some time, and there was a lot of requests previously for him to be released to treatment in the hopes that he would just stay clean while he was out. Eventually, he did have permission on his felony cases to be released to enter inpatient treatment. He could not be released until he had a bed and signed an ROI there with community corrections. He then received permission in our case to be released to treatment as well. I think my notes show no bond, but he can be released to treatment otherwise. So when Mr. Klein was released, obviously he generated this new case, and the notes that I can see on his felony case say that he got kicked out of that treatment. I know that he was referred to the drug court and rescreened. I don't see the information that says, I guess he may have been admitted. It's not really clear in terms of that, but I guess my concern here is that one, there's a bond violation he may need to be arraigned on for the new offense. And two, yes, he can enter the plea on this matter, that's fine, but I just want to be clear about what exactly he has two cases in our court. He has another case pretrial coming up in September for the new case with us. So I just want to be clear on what we're doing with bond and where everything is.
I am not aware of the bond violation that you are referring to. It probably is because your office received that to make the new charges. This court does not have a copy of that and is not aware of it.
The one that you arraigned him on, Your Honor. The new case that you arraigned him on the other day when he was in custody.
That file is not with this file.
Yeah, I emailed the court regarding that because when he had just gotten arraigned in custody on I think last Friday, he got a pretrial on that case. He got 5,010K bond from Your Honor, and his first pretrial on that case was set for September 12th. And I knew that this case was still up for today, so I wrote the court to ask if both of his cases are going to be going together or we were still going to see him today.
I think it needs to go to the September the 12th date. It does.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, the issue, Mr. Klein indicates that he has a very severe dental issue. It's something that they have been discussing in in treatment court and drug court. He has a surgery and an extraction that is extremely specialized, and there are not a number of oral surgeons that can perform this particular surgery. It's scheduled for the 5th. What they have been trying to do is see if he can get a bed in Don Farms to allow him to be transported there. I did just receive confirmation that he is still in the drug treatment court from our Ms. Noveski, who's the attorney who oversees the drug court, the felony drug court. So he has not been removed from that program. I told Mr. Klein that I would see if the court would permit that we schedule this date sometime next week. I'm hoping for the Monday docket because I don't know how the court works its dockets, obviously. But I wanted to see if he has court today at 1:30 with the drug court, and they're going to make a determination on what's going to happen with his bond and what's going to happen with, they have more information in regards to a bed available for him at Dawn Farm. Is it possible that we can get him a date earlier? Because he says that that September 5th date is the only date that's available. If not, he would have to wait another month before he could get this tooth extracted. He complains of extreme discomfort. I think that obviously I can't speak to it because I'm not in his body, but he's in a really bad place. And he says that he's in a certain level of pain that he's never experienced before. I said I can find out if the jail would be able to transport him. He says that he's had an issue similar to this before, and the jail refused or said that they were not able to do so. So I'm asking if the court could at least tentatively put him on the docket for Monday so that we can find the outcome or at least see what the drug court says today at 1:30. I can send a stip or a request, but you don't have to put it on the docket right now. But I just wanted to give the court a heads up as to that request to see if there's any way that he'd be able to be released in time for this appointment. He's still under the supervision of the drug court. I don't know what they're going to do. We'll know at 1:30 once he's done with that particular hearing.
So you want me to move his court date up to let him be released to where? To Dawn Farm.
Correct. So
where did he go when he committed this offense?
So he was at Home of New Vision, Your Honor. That was the original facility that he was in. He was released from Home of New Vision, and he was he said that he'd done a significant amount of legwork. He was accepted into Sacred Heart, but their wait time was too long. And in between that time, he did pick up these new charges with the malicious destruction of a building. But he had been working on getting this dental work appointment scheduled. He has been working with getting into Dawn Farm. We don't have a date yet. I can definitely find out from after today whether or not the people in the drug court have any information in regards to a release date or a date that a bed will be available to him. But their plan from the last notes from the 25th is that
I heard you when you said that before. Ms. McDuffie?
Your Honor, I sympathize if Mr. Klein is in pain right now. I think that he's probably in pain in a couple of different ways, including the addiction that he has obviously been struggling with for all this time. My concern is obviously that, again, my notes show he was kicked out of treatment when he had the opportunity to be out, and that everything is very uncertain. They adjourned for him to try to get into Dawn Farm and to start drug testing. So obviously with the state of his addiction, we don't have any information on where he is in terms of his use right now, because he hasn't even been testing since he's been out either. And I'm very concerned, as I always am, about Mr. Klein. Our notes that show no bond except for that release to treatment on this one file probably had that in mind too. So I'm
The
not
request right now is simply whether or not we can move it to the 5th.
No, the 5th is the day of the
Well, I don't know. No, we can't move it to the 4th. We're not even here.
that's a
The
holiday.
5th is at 9:00 in the morning. It's not.
I heard you, Mr. Klein.
Please.
Mr. Klein, as the prosecutor has said, you had an opportunity to have all of this taken care of, but you did not take advantage of your opportunity to have treatment. And you stop, sir. I'm talking. And it is alleged that you committed a new offense.
Please, I need to get my teeth taken care of. I need to go to my appointment. I did everything. I set up my intake with Sacred Heart. I was approved. It said I was only approved in 2 weeks, but I was approved. But it said that when I went there, if I go to my appointment on the 5th, that I would have to wait 2 more weeks to get back into Sacred Heart, and everything else, it was just messed up. So I redid everything. I redid my assessment with CMH. I got my insurance approved to go to Sparrow with Dawn Farms, and it said to call them in 45 minutes. I called them. The last thing I had to do was send proof of my confirmation of my COVID vaccination. I called, I can't think, the hospital. I called them and I had them, there's a person named Izzy. She sent confirmation through fax to Sparrow, confirmation of my COVID vaccination. And they said they're gonna call my phone any day with the bed. They said it was even as soon as the weekend. I came to jail Friday, I was in jail for the weekend. They're supposed to be calling my phone any day with the bed. Sparrow, you can call Sparrow and ask them. Sparrow, Dawn Farms, call them and you can call them and ask them. They're supposed to be calling my phone. I set this up. I did everything myself. I'm waiting to go into Dawn Farms. But I need to go to this appointment on the 5th. Okay, I understand I did my wrongs. I'm sorry. I need to go to this appointment on the 5th, man. I need to see the specialist. No dentist will touch it because they said it's on the nerve. He said if he accidentally nicks the nerve, that I will be numb on the right side of my mouth for the rest of my life. That's why the dentist inside jail can't take my tooth out. And Amazing Dental, my dentist won't take it out. I'm supposed to go get a crown on the left side of my mouth. That's what's bothering me right now. That's what my pain is on the left side. It's not even on the side where it's supposed to take my tooth out right now. Right now it's where I need to get my crown. I'm in extreme pain. And there's nothing they can do for me in jail. Nothing at all, except extract teeth. And they can't pull this one out because it's on the nerve. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else. I've been clean. I've been doing good. I haven't been doing anything. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm sorry. I got into an argument because I was
Mr. Klein, don't talk about the other case, okay?
okay, I didn't talk about the other case. I'm talking about when I was in treatment. They put me out because they said I was on the behavior plan and I was being disruptive. I didn't do no extreme thing to get kicked out of rehab. It was something so petty. And they have the rules. Granted, I violated the rules. But what I did to violate the rules was consist of really nothing. I wasn't in there raising hell in rehab. I was doing good in rehab. I got along with the staff. It was one person in particular, and she wrote me up while I was on the behavior plan. And that's why I got put out of rehab. That was it. The paragraph they wrote on my piece of paper that I got a copy when they put me out, it was little. It just says be disruptive while on behavior plan. That's all it said for to put me out of rehab. That was it.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. All right. So September the 4th is obviously not an option. What is your request at this time, Ms. Carolyn?
So Your Honor, my request would just be that if the court could leave the option to be released to treatment open, in case if that bed becomes available for him this weekend, he would be able to go, and Don Farms will be able to facilitate him getting to the appointment.
Ms. McDuffie?
But if I don't get out by the 5th,
Unmuted him.
Your Honor, I'll leave that to the court. My only request would be that if for some reason Mr. Klein is able to appear, that we see him again on this case on the 12th as well with his other, if we leave that day.
If you could get me proof of the documentation from him regarding why he was released from the treatment program, I will consider the release at that point, and it may be moot anyway if the treatment program does not allow him to go. At this point, I'm going to put this on for September the 12th, 2023 at 10 a.m. and you must submit the documentation.
please say something.
Vincent, I'm going to come see you today. Let the judge finish talking. Sorry, Your Honor.
Mr. Vincent Klein, if you continue to act up, I'm going to not consider this at all. Well, he seems to not want to stop giving me that behavior, so I can just say forget it and not consider it at all. Stop it now. I'm tired of it. Just like you, really, if you can get that documentation from him and submit it to me, I will consider it.
Okay.